Dawson Rider Review.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for Mashin Sentai Kiramager episode 17. So this was finally the debut of Gigant Driller, Kiramei Silvers Mech, and I really like that they waited this long for it. I've mentioned that in pretty much all the reviews since Silver arrived, that I've really liked the slow burn approach, but let me just wait and mention that 5 more times later. So this episode I think was overall solid. It was a little bit like character development-y and the end of an arc and a little bit fillery at the same time with kind of a silly bit, but it was an enjoyable and satisfying kind of conclusion to this arc and intro to the next one, which is kind of neat. So basically, you actually start with the Rangers in a battle, and there's already a giant monster, and they can't figure out like how they got the negative energy to bring it up, and like it's just pessimism. That's how they did it. But then they're back at the base, and Silver's brother is like, well, we could probably help you because there might be a way to make Gigant Driller, but like I don't have a silver crystal, so that's kind of a problem. And then they show footage of them transforming Silver with the crystal, so like clear foreshadowing there how that's gonna work. And Silver bursts in like, I found my treasure, and he needs Tamateo to help him at this game master's house. The Rangers converse about it and eventually agree to send Tamateo and Drew, and there's like this weird game master house who turns out to be a monster who's basically trapping people in the shadow realm. Yugi boy! That's grape juice. That's how they get the negative energy, and that's how they've been able to make big monsters without like the obvious in-your-face attack that the Rangers are able to see coming every week. And so after that though, or around the same time, a monster attack happens, so Drew has to leave, just leaving Tamateo and Silver there to deal with that while the Rangers fight the monster of the week. And then eventually Garza shows up, so Silver has to fight Garza while Yellow finishes the game. And Garza does something to Silver, and I'm not sure, it didn't come around again in this episode. I think it'll be in a later one. I don't think it necessarily had anything to do with what happened at the end, but we'll see. I'll talk about that in a minute. But he did something to him before he left. And then Silver overhears Yellow talking about how he and the other Rangers made a deal to help Silver with his treasure hunt, to basically show their friendship and devotion, and that, you know, they can be a team. And I really like this for a couple reasons. It felt like a good end to this arc, but something I like about Kiramager is they don't do that classic Sentai Power Rangers thing where they act like if there's not one person with them, they're totally screwed. Like in most Sentai, like there's a team of 5 and one of them will have to do something like, oh my god, we're absolutely useless with only 4 people, we can't do anything by ourselves, ah! And I like that this one, and there's been many times where a smaller number of Rangers have been able to handle themselves. So Yellow defeats this monster on his own, and the other Rangers couldn't defeat the monster of the week, to be fair, but they were totally fine holding their own until Tamateo finished what he needed, and they didn't overdo. This is a good way of showing the teamwork dynamic without a really stupid forced thing of like you literally need 5 people, 6 people to change a light bulb. Even least favorite is when they get the 6th Ranger and act like they can't do anything without him, even though they did stuff without him for 20 episodes. But so I like that Kiramager kind of diverts a lot of the little Sentai tropes that I don't like, and that's an example of that. So Kiramei Silver is inspired by that, and because of that, he goes to help them defeat the monster before he grabs the treasure, which is this little gem thing on the clock. And when he does that, he realizes because of the power of friendship, he's unlocked the ability to become a Kiramei Stone. That's a little cheesy, but I just kind of see it as he's always been able to do this, and sort of loosening up has allowed him to unlock it. And essentially, since they used the silver Kiramei Stone to heal him and it's become a part of him, he is a Kiramei Stone, so kind of like a weird twist on some Rangers and 6 Rangers that transform into their own mecha to a degree. He transforms into a Kiramei Stone, and then that goes inside Dreegen to become Gigant Driller. And that's kind of cool. I honestly thought that that gem was going to be the treasure he was looking for, but it turned out to be something different. But I kind of dig this. It's a cool way of tying the 6th Ranger in, making him work similar to the other Rangers, yet slightly different. I like the way it works, the way it lights up when he talks. This mecha's really grown on me. I still prefer Kiramager a little bit, but this one overall has grown on me a little bit, and I really like it. And the debut felt really satisfying because there was a nice build-up to it. And they defeat the monster, and then at the end, he's got the treasure, which is this little thing, which I honestly thought, once I knew that he was going to be the mecha, I thought maybe this was going to help him unlock it, but it's actually the start of the next arc. And there's a little bit of foreshadowing when Brawhead's looking at this old crown of her mom's, and then at the same time he's saying, I need to collect this and the other 3 of these types of stones because it can grant you 1 wish. Hashtag Dragon Balls. And then, that's at #drag, not #drag Dragon Balls, #. To find him to grant a wish so that he can save Brawhead from some sort of doom. And so, for me, it kind of implies because he's talking about her right when she's looking at their mother's crown, that maybe there's some sort of curse put on the Crystallian women, or the Crystallian women in their family, that they always have bra heads. So Silver's like hashtag free the nipple, and this next arc is hashtag free the nipple. I really like that about this. It made it feel like since Kiramei Silver debuted until his mecha debut was this own little mini arc, kind of the classic Six Ranger intro arc where you kind of get him to work with each member of the team, you get an idea for him, you integrate him into the team, and then we now are springboarding into this next arc with bra heads and this gem thingy. So I think that was kind of cool, and I like that it set up mini arcs. It makes it feel a little bit more cohesive, and I really enjoy that. And as I said, I love that they let the mecha debuts breathe. I think that's been really a strength of Kiramager so far in general, but in particular with this, it was really nice. Like, in between Silver's debut and the mecha debut, we even got specific debut episodes for the auxiliary mecha. And I really like that. I think it makes all of the items in the show feel more special. It makes you want to buy them more, in my opinion, because they don't just feel so disposable. It makes everything breathe. I'm really hoping that this is a good sign for Sentai, and maybe even Rider in the future, who knows. But especially this last maybe 5 years or so, I've been really exhausted at how rapid fire and forced the debuts are, because they have to line them up with the toy schedule. And it seemed like with Kiramager, I mean, obviously we had all of the virus stuff happening, which delayed the schedule and stuff. But setting that aside, even before that, it seemed like they loosened the reins on that a little bit. So I'm hoping that in the future they learn that it's okay to not have the debut happen at the same time in the real world and in the show, and that you can help the narrative breathe a little bit. But overall, I thought this was a strong finale to this little arc. Good debut for Gigant Driller. I would give it an 8, and I'm looking forward to the next arc. But what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps, and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out.